I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadespuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you get educated about the show, you click on that merchandise tab. That's going to find our classic logo t-shirt, our pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck are still available in our online store. Something like 88 different items with our logo on it. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, and so many other ridiculous things. We've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on Threads. That is our newest account. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us on TikTok, and yes, we are still on X. YouTube is where we could use some support, so please help us out right there. Give us a subscription, and thank you so much to our newest subscribers. We sure have noticed, and we sure do appreciate such caps love and respect to all of you out there for checking us out on YouTube, whether that's for full episodes of Renegades of Puck TV or if it's for game previews, recaps, or all of our different analysis from our analysts. That's right, all right there on our YouTube channel. Just search Renegades of Puck. You can find the audio podcast just about everywhere thanks to the Full Press NHL Network, Full Press coverage worldwide. The Full Press Predators podcast has gone from local to global in the year 2023, now over 7 million downloads and replays, and we sure do appreciate each and every one of you for the hard work you've done behind the scenes to help make 2023 the most successful year in Renegades of Puck show history. You can find the podcast on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, several other podcast platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform today. And again, stick taps, love, and respect to everybody for checking out the show over the year 2023. Venmo, that's how you can support the Renegades of Puck financially. You can make a donation by going to Venmo and searching Renegades of Puck or scanning the QR code that is currently on your screen. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you, we have been able to make massive upgrades here to the facility known as the Bunker, especially with the technology that you don't see, but it has improved our efficiency a tremendous amount. So again, thank you so much. The year 2023 has been exceptional in so many ways, and you've helped us out in so many different ways. We couldn't do this without you, and we wouldn't do this without you. So again, that's Venmo if you'd like to support the Renegades of Puck in a financial way. Listen, I know it might be cold, but it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage. So let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 841. That's right, show number 841. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 32 games skated. They have a record of 18-14-0. 36 points on the season has them 4 points behind the first place Dallas Stars. On the road, their record is 7-0. They've scored 101 goals on the season. They've given up 99. That's a goal differential of +2. Now, I mentioned on the road, that's where the Nashville Predators' next game will take place. It'll be against the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, it makes sense to be in Philadelphia now, wouldn't it? Let's talk about the Central Division, though, before we microscope down on that particular matchup. The Dallas Stars are now in first place. They have jumped the Colorado Avalanche by way of holding tiebreakers. Only 30 games skated on the season, which is 2 less than the Colorado Avalanche. 18-8-4 is the Stars' record, 40 points overall. They are tied with the Avalanche in points, but again, due to tiebreakers, hold the first spot currently. The Avalanche have a record of 19-11-2, are at 40 points. The Winnipeg Jets have a record of 18-9-3, are at 39 points, and then you'll find the Nashville Predators in fourth place at 36 points. The Arizona Coyotes creeping up on the Preds now, 34 points in fifth place. The St. Louis Blues are at 31 points in sixth place. Minnesota Wild are at 30 points and in seventh place. And the Chicago Blackhawks have finally gotten themselves off of 19 points, have bumped up to 21 points now, but are still in eighth and last place in the Central Division. When it comes to the Philadelphia Flyers, which Nashville Predators' next opponents will be the second of 2 regular season meetings. President Flyers will be finishing things out after meeting just, well, a couple days ago. It was December the 12th when the Nashville Predators welcomed Philadelphia into Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville, and the Preds came away with a 3-2 victory in overtime. UC Saros 37-39 picked up the victory. Arson was 19-22, and he picked up the loss. Couturier and Sanheim picked up the goals for the Flyers, while Philip Forsberg picked up the game-winning overtime goal, and McCarron and Nyquist picked up 1 goal each. For the Preds, once they wrap up this one-night stand in Philadelphia, back home to face off against the first-place Dallas Stars. It's going to be a pivotal Central Division matchup. Then Wednesday versus the Carolina Hurricanes. That'll be closing out that regular season series. First time of the year, the Preds will meet up with the Detroit Red Wings. Happen in Detroit on the 29th of December and the 30th. The next night in Washington, close out the regular season series with the Caps. First game of 2024 will take place on January the 2nd versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Philadelphia Flyers, since we last caught up with them, which was, again, just a couple days ago, 18-10-3 is their overall record. They have 39 points, second in the Metropolitan Division, just behind the New York Rangers on home ice, a record of 8-6-1. Seems like they played so much more on the road this season. Goals for 93, goals against 81. That's a goal differential of plus 12. When we go back, we talk about their most recent stretch, including their previous 5. We'll go back to December 9th and start that stretch. 5-2 victory over the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado on December the 12th. It was a 3-2 overtime loss at Nashville. On December the 14th, they followed up that loss to the Preds with a 4-3 shootout win versus the Washington Capitals, and on the 16th of December, a 1-0 win versus the Detroit Red Wings. And their most recent game took place on December the 19th, a 3-2 overtime win at the New Jersey Devils. So the Philadelphia Flyers have gone on to win all of their games after falling at Bridgestone Arena to the Nashville Predators. So the Preds are running into a hot Flyers team. There is no doubt about that. Let's take a look at the updated rankings and statistics between these two teams in this matchup. When it comes to the goals for category, the Preds are ahead in this matchup. 3.13 per game is 17th best in the NHL, while the Philadelphia Flyers are generating 2.90 goals per game. That's 23rd. In the goals against category, though, Philadelphia Flyers, impressive number here, 2.61 per game allowed. Impressive ranking as well, 7th in the NHL. Preds are giving up 3.09 per game. That is 13th overall in the league. In the shots on goal category, or shots for category, yes, that would be shots on goal and shots for would be exactly the same thing. 32.6 for the Philadelphia Flyers per game is 7th best in the NHL, so another top 10 metric for Philadelphia, while the Preds have seemed to sinking in this category a little bit. 30 even now per game, 23rd overall in the shots against category. 30.9 for the Predators, 18th overall in the NHL. Shots against the Philadelphia Flyers, 28.3 per game, is 5th best in the National Hockey League. One of the only places the Philadelphia Flyers seem to be faltering on the season is on their power play. 10.2% is their conversion rate. That's 30th rated in the NHL. Only 10 conversions on 98 opportunities, while the National Predators, 20.9%, is 17th best in the NHL, 24 conversions on 115 opportunities. When it comes to the PK, though, the Philadelphia Flyers make up for the difference with the power play. 85.6% kill rate is 4th best in the NHL, and they've only given up 14 power play goals against the season, while the Preds are killing off 76.9%. That's 23rd overall in the league, 24 power play goals against. So for the Philadelphia Flyers, 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10 metrics out of the 6 team statistics that we give you here as part of the preview. So the Philadelphia Flyers, no doubt red hot, winning all of their games since falling to the Nashville Predators at Bridgestone Arena in overtime, and the Flyers second place behind just the New York Rangers, who have easily been one of the best teams in the NHL, if not the best team in the NHL, over the course of the first 30 plus games of the season, wherever we're at now. The Preds, no injuries listed on the sheet right now. Sherwood was available for the previous game, but he was not in the lineup, and Dante Fabro, of course, was also been a healthy scratch as of late. Let's talk about the top scorers for each team in the individual category. Konecny for the Philadelphia Flyers leads the team with 16 goals and 10 assists for 26 points overall. The 16 goals leads the team in that particular category. It's Sanheim leading the team with 18 total assists. Add 4 goals to that, and you'll get 22 total points for second on the team in scoring. Couturier, 7 and 14 for 21 points. Farabee, 11 goals and 9 assists for 20 points. And Tippett, 11 goals and 8 assists for 19 points. And it was Sanheim and Couturier scoring against the Nashville Predators at Bridgestone Arena back on December the 12th. Hart did not get the start and play against Nashville Predators. 9-6-1 is his overall record. 9-1-9 save percentage, 2.42 goals against average. Expecting him to get the start in this game on home ice. Flipping over to the Nashville Predators side of things, Philip Forsberg still leads the team in scoring with 16 goals and 20 assists for 36 points. No movement after the most recent game. Josi Josi, 7 goals and 20 assists for 27 points and second on the team in scoring. O'Reilly, 13 and 13 for 26. Nyquist, 4 and 16 for 20. Sissons, 10 and 6 for 16. Not a great sign when the preview indicates that there's been no movement in the individual statistics for the Nashville Predators' top 5 scorers, and there hasn't been any. Where there was movement, though, is in UC Saros' numbers, unfortunately. 14, 11, and 0 on the season is his record. Save percentage down to .908, goals against average up to 2.85 after his most recent start. We're going to talk about his most recent start. It took place at Bridgestone Arena, one of the most important games of the first half of the season in the Western Conference. It happened to be between the second place Vancouver Canucks of the Pacific Division and the fourth place Nashville Predators of the Central Division, two of the hottest teams in the NHL coming together to close out their regular season series on Bridgestone Arena ice. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. Let's go back to Bridgestone Arena and let's find out how it went down.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to December 19th of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were facing off on home ice, closing out the regular season series against the Vancouver Canucks. Head coach Andrew Brunette deployed his line combinations and defensive pairings in the following way. Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Novak, Glass, and Evangelista. A little bit of a different look right there. Trenton, Sissons, and Parson, Smith, McCarron, and Tomasino. Sherwood, healthy scratch. McDonough and Josi, Luzon and Carey, Barry and Shen. So Fabro also healthy scratch. UC Saros gets a start on home ice at Bridgestone Arena. We are just a minute and 35 seconds into the game, and UC Stars coming up with the first save of the game. It's on Roenick at 4:08 of the first period. It's to Smith coming with a save on Philip Forsberg. That's the first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators at 4:09 of the first period. It's Hoglander off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. To Smith comes up with a save on Josi, and then Barry picks up a penalty, 2 minutes for interference. Perhaps a little bit of embellishment in the situation, but it leads to a 4-on-4 situation. That's when UC Saros on the power play after the 4-on-4 has to come up with a save on Miller, and then also comes up with another save on Pettersson. At 10:08 of the first period, it's UC Saros coming up with a save on Bosser. At 11:48 of the first period, UC Saros coming up with a save on Roenick. At the 12:59 mark of the first period, UC Saros back to work again, this time coming with a save on Bluger. And then at 16:38, Vancouver breaks through and Pettersson scores his 13th of the season, giving Canucks a 1-0 lead. It was a wrist shot snipe after he just left Barry in the dust in the neutral zone, got in, got plenty of time, and just an absolute sick release and just a snipe in this situation. 13th of the season for Pettersson, 4th against Nashville Predators this season. 1-0 in favor of Vancouver. But just seconds later at 17:09 of the first period, it's Amano, first goal of the season. Barry overskates the puck, which hit the side of the net. It bounces to the front of the net, right into the low slot area, and is set up perfectly. First goal of the season gives Vancouver a 2-goal lead at Bridgestone Arena in just a matter of seconds, and Barry heavily involved in both of those. At 17:17 of the first, UC Stars coming back to work, coming with a save on Roenick. At 19:45 of the first period, we find to Smith coming with a save on Tomasino's breakaway, but behind the play, things are getting a little bit wild. It officially blow the play at 19:47. That's where we'll assess the penalties. McCarron coming in late to respond. Luzon was involved with a clean hit earlier. Multiple Canucks players involved, but McCarron was the only one who dropped the glove, so he gets a 2 starting right there. He says some choice words to the referee, and then they were very choice. 10 minutes right there, and then followed with a game misconduct. I thought this was excessive, absolutely excessive at this point in the game. 19:47 of the first period, McCarron is done. 2:10 plus a game. So Vancouver back to the power play, but only 13 seconds to go in the period. So we'll hit the end of the first period with Vancouver out shooting Nashville 11-7, but leading the game 2-0 in a power play of 1:47 to start the second period. Saros comes with a save on Pettersson. The PK would be able to hold after that. 2:30 into the second period. It's to Smith coming up with a save on Tommy Novak at 3:02 at the second period. To Smith coming with a save on Barry at 4:28. To Smith, another save on Tommy Tomasino. The Nashville Predators finally getting their skates under them in this game at 5:36 of the second period. Saros coming with a save on Roenick at 8:46 of the second. Saros comes with a save on Bossler's deflection. Now the Vancouver Canucks getting some opportunities. 9:38 of the second period. Pettersson hitting the post at 10:47. Preds back on offense. Coming to Smith comes up with a big save on Cole Smith at 13:02 of the second period. It's to Smith coming up with a save on the captain Roman Josi. The Nashville Predators are going at it with the Vancouver Canucks, and at 14:23, that's where we find Luzon getting his third goal of the season. He jumped into the rush after a big hit in the defensive zone by his defensive partner. That would be Alex Carrier. The rush is sprung, and Luzon jumps into it, receives the feed from Evangelista, and snipes. That wrist shot is truly a great one. Luzon's third goal of the season gets the Nashville Predators on the board. Vancouver, though, still holds a 2-1 lead, but Vancouver is going to respond immediately. 14:38, so at 14:23, Luzon scores. At 14:38, Höglander scores his 10th goal of the season. It was a redirect of Hughes' long shot. That gives Vancouver back their 2-goal lead immediately, 3-1 now in favor of the Canucks. But 15:24, it's Pius Suter's 5th goal of the season with some rebound jam that trickles over the line, giving Vancouver a 4-1 lead now in this game. Right here in the second period, the Nashville Predators definitely not having a good go here on the home rink. 17:11 of the second period, UC Stars coming out with a save on Hughes off of the rush. He turned on the Jets, and it was like he had a level beyond what anybody else on the rink could achieve. 18:42 of the second period, UC Stars coming with a save on Bossler. Again, we flip over to the back of the sheet to find it. 19:09 of the second period, it's the Nashville Predators picking up a bench minor. Too many men on the ice. No shots on goal for the Vancouver Canucks over the course of the rest of the period on the power play. So at the end of the second period, Vancouver's out shooting Nashville 21-18. It would be a carryover. So the Vancouver Canucks start the third period just like they started the second period. A carryover on the power play, this time of 109, and a save on Roenick for UC Saros would come at this moment. But right after the power play would expire for the Vancouver Canucks, 1:16 of the third period would be Bluger with his 4th goal of the season. It was another perfect Hughes setup, just an otherworldly defenseman and offensive defenseman out there. You can put his name up there with any of the greats of, I think, all time. The way he is panning out, it's only going to take a matter of having the number of games played by the end of this thing to see him up there with some of the greats. But Bluger's 4th goal of the season gives Vancouver a 5-1 lead. That's going to be it for UC Saros. He checks out of this one. Kevin Lankinen comes in, and Lankinen is going immediately to work. We are 2:34 into the third period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Pettersson at 4:54. Lankinen comes up with a save on Garland at the 5:46 mark. There's Kevin Lankinen again coming with another save on Pettersson at the 6:58 mark of the third period. It's Vancouver off the box picking up a bench minor. Too many men. No, not all. Not all of Vancouver is off to the box, though that would be a unique moment to see. The bench minor assessed to the Vancouver Canucks for too many men on the ice. Look, I got to find some sort of laugh in this thing. It would be DeSmith coming up with a save on O'Reilly. A quick whistle would frustrate the Nashville Predators during this power play. Other than this save on O'Reilly's jam attempt, the Preds not able to get a whole lot done in this situation. We hit the 9:35 mark of the third period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Bluger, and then at 10:45, the Preds still out there generating scoring opportunities, still giving it a go. DeSmith comes up with a save on McDonough, plus the follow-up by Luke Shen, 2 defensemen joining together for a scoring opportunity. At the 12:28 mark, DeSmith comes up with a save on Forsberg. Then I want you to listen to a couple of names here for the Predators down the stretch. 13:21, it's DeSmith coming up with a save on Tommy Novak at 16:29 of the third period. Lankinen coming up with the save on Bossler as Vancouver brought the puck in the zone for one of the few times in the final 10 minutes of the period. 17:17 of the third, it's DeSmith coming with a save on Luke Evangelista. At 18:55, it's DeSmith coming with a save on Juuso Parson. And at 19:48 of the third period, it's Glass getting his first goal of the season. It was Cole Smith with the setup off the half wall and the finish by Glass from the slot. First of all, great to see Glass up and healthy and in the game, but also great to see him still jamming away and grinding up until the very final seconds of this game with 12 seconds to go in a blowout game. There's Glass getting his first goal of the season. There wasn't a lot to celebrate, so there wasn't a celebration. Very, very muted. But congratulations to Glass picking up his first goal of the season. Breaking through like that is a big moment, even if it occurs during the course of a blowout. So the Preds, down the stretch, Andrew Burnett gives their young players some good ice time. They get some good shifts. They generate some offense, and Vancouver Canucks close this thing out. It's a 5-2 final in favor of the Vancouver Canucks. They outshoot the Nashville Predators 35-28. And for the season series, and it's something we'll go into a little bit more with the numbers, they sweep the season series. The Vancouver Canucks sweep the Nashville Predators 3-0 in the season series. And then tonight's final 5-2. That means they outscore the Nashville Predators 13-6 on the season. Is that right? Yeah, 13-6 on the season. Predators average only 2 games per game against the Vancouver Canucks this season. 2 early in the season, 1 later on when the Preds got things rolling, but this was not a game where the Preds got things rolling. UC Saros, the last 10 games, incredible. This game, there wasn't much he could do. There wasn't much the Nashville Predators could do. The Preds were beaten by a team that was better than them on the rink tonight. They were beaten all 3 times this season by a team that's better than them. The Vancouver Canucks play the style that the Nashville Predators are looking to play moving forward. It's been a learning curve all season long going up against the Vancouver Canucks. They fell 3-2 at Bridgestone Arena back on October the 24th, and then they fell 5-2 on the 31st of October, and now they fall again 5-2 in this game. That's a tough one for the Nashville Predators. They've really been hot as of late, but the Vancouver Canucks have been hot all season long. For the Canucks, their 22nd win of the season. Now listen, that's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. You gave us 10 minutes, and we gave you the entire game. All the goals, all the penalties, all the big moments that happened, we gave it to you right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Analysis, box score, and so much more coming up after these short messages. Please stay tuned.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap, and I know I was so excited going into the tease, and how it went down was, well, it didn't go down so great for the Nashville Predators tonight on the home rink. UC Saros got the start in this game, 19 out of 24, 5 goals against, and just a tough game all the way around. There's really no critique in this one, but what I will say about UC Saros is they caught him being obviously quite angry down the tunnel. It's not something we see from UC Saros very often. He's usually very calm, very collected, keeps his emotions very, very much to himself, but this time UC Saros is definitely upset about how this went. It was a big-time matchup against the Vancouver Canucks. It was a measuring stick game on the learning curve that the Nashville Predators are a part of this year, and Vancouver is further along on the journey than the Nashville Predators. There's no doubt about that, and the Vancouver Canucks have some just awesome young talent on that team. But for UC Saros, this is one of those nights that we're not going to critique. We're going to say tough game all the way around. Good to see him show a little spark, a little emotion, a little fire, as you would expect from a goaltender the caliber of UC Saros. Let's talk about Lankinen, though, coming in the third period, 11 out of 11. So Lankinen doesn't give up a single goal in this game. A strong in relief, and it's not like he was facing easy shots. The Vancouver Canucks continued putting the pressure on Lankinen, trying to go for the absolute kill in the third period, and Lankinen stands strong, and he's continued to be consistent and extremely professional coming into this game. Not the easiest thing in the world, but he was strong in relief out there for his Nashville Predators team and helping out UC Saros, who will get arrested now and probably get the start in Philadelphia you would have to expect. There's a couple of things we can talk about. It's not all bad. Luzon scored a goal in this game and also delivered 9 total hits. That's far and away the leader in that category in this game for either team. 2014 in total time on ice skated, and you got to give Luzon credit. Again, another player that was critiqued highly by the fan base when he was acquired by this Nashville Predators team. While he has truly emerged into a solid night in, night out defenseman who can jump into the rush, chip in with the goals. We've seen a couple of times lately, and he was in the physical department of things. He is in a class of his own at this point in time. Night in, night out, he is just consistently up there in high single digits for hits. And it's impressive to see where he's going to turn out by the end of the season, because I think he's going to be amongst the league leaders, if not the league leader. I think it's something he is seeking out. He seeks out physical contact. There's no doubt about that. So impressive to see 9 hits in this game. Glass picks up a goal. It's his first of the season. Congratulations on that. Listen, it sucks to get blown out at the home rink in an important game that everybody was looking forward to. But for Glass, he's had some injury problems this season. You know that. We've chronicled that. And pulled down the other night kind of recklessly, and it looked like, oh, man, are we headed for another injury for this poor young player as he's trying to emerge and develop? But no, he came back, and he was in there tonight. And in the final seconds of the game, he's still playing hard until the end, going to the hard areas and getting rewarded. He picks up his first goal of the season, and sometimes let's use Jakob Trenin as the high-end example of this. Sometimes a player breaks through with that first goal, and next thing you know, they're at 7, and their season has turned completely around. So for Glass, he's back on the rink. He seems to be healthy. Now he's got his first goal of the season. So again, congratulations on that. It's always something special to pick up your first goal of the year. Evangelista and Novak picked up 1 assist each, and I made these notations, well, because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about as far as offense goes, but because the contribution of the youth. I loved down the stretch in the third period when the game was no longer in doubt, Vancouver was going to win, that Andrew Burnett put his young players out there on the rink considerable amounts of time and gave them opportunities. As we went through the play-by-play and the full game recap there, you heard numerous young players in this lineup getting opportunities to pick up good, important shifts at the NHL level. Let's remember, these are still developing prospects in many ways on many of the different line combinations. So to see Evangelista out there getting opportunities there at the end of the game, to see Novak and to see Parsonen, and then to see Glass picking up the goal at the end of the game, these are incredibly important minutes, incredibly important shifts at the NHL level. So it's good to see them all out there, and it's good to see them contributing in a way that the score isn't really going to reflect, but they were getting the good experience out there on the rink. So the youth contribution, it also leads me to this next point. I can absolutely just keep going on this point about Barry just not being good in this big game. He looked slow, was left behind. He misplayed a puck that was right to him, and it ends up in the back of the net instantly. So I'm not going to just go overboard on the critique of it. He wasn't good in this game. He doesn't appear to want to be on the Nashville Predators, and I don't think him being in the lineup is a positive for the team moving forward. Dante Fabro is another of these young players, as we were just talking about the contribution of the youth. Would have loved to have seen Dante Fabro out there continuing to develop, because he's actually putting together a good start to the season. I want to see Dante Fabro back in the lineup, and I want to see Barry as a scratch back in the press box again. So that's going to do it for the analysis for this one. Not all doom and gloom. The Vancouver Canucks are a better hockey team at this point in the matchup between the two, and the Vancouver Canucks showed the Nashville Predators what it was like to take a beating tonight, and there's no doubt about that. There's lessons to be learned. There are absolutely lessons to be learned, and the youth getting those important minutes there at the end of the game, all of that incredibly important. We got the good, cold, hard numbers of the box score. We'll see what that reveals and what else falls out of that to talk about. We'll do that after we hear from Stripe Digital right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Welcome back in. When it comes to the box score, Glass picks up a goal in this game right there at the end of the game. Great to see. Luzon picked up a goal, and when Luzon picked up that goal, like the Preds were down 2-1, and it sure seemed like they were getting themselves back into the game, but as just lightning quick, the Vancouver Canucks said absolutely not. The Nashville Predators found an inch, and the Vancouver Canucks stomped that opening shut immediately by answering with a couple of goals. On the assist side of things, Luke Evangelista and Tommy Novak, Cole Smith pick up assists in this game, and that is it. That's it. Tough night on the score sheet. For shots, as a matter of fact, there's a couple of categories where it actually gets worse than that. Forsberg had 3 in this game. Tomasino had 3. Yossi had 3. And Luke Shen also had 3 on net. When it comes to the block shots category, I was astonished to see this. The captain, Roman Yossi, had 2. That's not what astonished me, that Roman Yossi had 2 block shots. That's actually about where he typically ends up, 1-2. Colton Sissons had 1. What astonishes me is that is it. Only 3 block shots for this Nashville Predators team. Alex Carrier and Luzon and McDonough, Shen, these particular defensemen have been feasting on blocking shots. You know who else likes to block shots for the Preds defense? Dante Fabro. Perhaps he could have assisted in this, but to see only 3 block shots for a Predators team that usually blocks a considerable amount of shots, it really just stands out to me as being an incredibly low number. In the physical category, we mentioned already Luzon with 9 hits, but you should mention it again. 9 hits is a highly impressive number in 2014 in total time on ice. Philip Forsberg had 4 hits in this game. Tough to find a whole lot of other physical play by this Nashville Predators team. Parston was able to generate 2. McCarron had 2 hits in the game before being ejected from the game. Only 3:24 in total time on ice for McCarron. That's no good right there. Listen, I thought that was a referee perhaps using his authority to go a little bit too far in the first period. A 2, a 10, and a game for essentially cursing out the referee. A 2 and a 10, I think, was enough. I thought it was excessive to give McCarron the gate in the first period for that. Only 3:24 in total time on ice. That's not good enough. McCarron is a better veteran than that. He needs to know when to shut it down. He was already getting the 2. There was no doubt about that. Then after he popped off, he was definitely getting the 10, and maybe he just went a little bit too far. But I didn't like the situation. I thought it was excessive and unnecessary from, frankly, everybody involved. All of it happened after the whistle. So time on ice leaders without Michael McCarron in the lineup. 20:07 for O'Reilly, 17:08 for Philip Forsberg, 17:03 for, that's Gus Nyquist. So the top line, the first line, gets all the time on ice lead in this one. On the defensive side of things, it was Captain Roman Yossi, 24:02 total time on ice, leads the Nashville Predators in this game. 23:30 for Ryan McDonough is second in the special teams time on ice power play. 2:27 for Nyquist, 2:29 for O'Reilly, 2:25 for Sissons, 2:25 for the captain Roman Yossi on the power play, but the power play unfortunately unsuccessful in this game. Shorthanded time on ice, 5:12 for Luzon in shorthanded time on ice. 5:12 in shorthanded time on ice. 4:16 for McDonough. And then on the forward side of things, it was Cole Smith, 3:37, Ryan O'Reilly, 2:48, and Yakov Trenin, 2:01. Now, the reason I point out the PK numbers as much as I do, because the power play went 0 for 2, but the PK, 3 for 3 again in this game. And again, that unit has been coming up bigger and bigger a lot as of late. Face-off winning percentage, 44.6%. Again, low. With O'Reilly, with Sissons in the lineup, that should never be below 50%. It just shouldn't. Block shots 3, harped on that quite a bit already. I don't understand how that number could possibly be so low. But perhaps it was just an undercount in the building, because I could have swore the Preds blocked more than 3 shots. Hits 23, pretty good, but Luzon did almost all of that work with 9 on his side of the ledger. Takeaways 10, giveaways 12. I don't like when the Preds are under in that metric. It's another losing indicator. In net for the Nashville Predators, Saros 19 out of 24. He takes the loss in this game.
2.5 goals against, a 7.92 save percentage for this individual game, 14 even strength saves, 5 power play saves. Kevin Lankinen in relief goes 11 out of 11. All 11 of his saves came at even strength in the third period. Once the game was frankly in no doubt, it was 5-1 when he came into the game. So that's going to do it for the box score, and that's going to get you caught up with all the good, cold, hard numbers. I mean, listen, they reveal the truth. That's what it is. That's what happened in this game. Now let's close this thing out, and we're going to close it out by saying this is pretty simple. 0-3 versus Vancouver, outscored 13-6 this season. The Preds were only able to generate 2 goals in each of the games against Canucks. The Canucks are good. Coming into the season, nobody thought the Predators or the Canucks were going to be good. So let's start with that baseline. That's a nice, easy baseline to set. 3 games now. The Nashville Predators faced off against the Canucks early in the season in October. Canucks got out the gate fast. This happens from time to time, and then teams come back to earth, and their seasons don't exactly work out the way they might have projected in October. So the Vancouver Canucks beating the Preds twice in October in a span of 7 days. It sure seemed like the Canucks were a good team, but now we have been some time without seeing the Vancouver Canucks, and the Nashville Predators have gotten their skates under them, gotten their game under them, and are certainly trending in the right direction. UC Saros is one of the hottest goaltenders in the NHL coming into this game. The Preds are one of the hottest teams in the NHL coming into this game, and for a Western Conference matchup, Pacific versus Central, maybe the 2 teams that have the most momentum as of late going up against each other. Now, this was a measuring stick game on the learning curve. You remember we talked about the learning curve. That's right, I just gave you a curve right there. We talked about the learning curve the last time the Nashville Predators faced off against the Vancouver team. Vancouver is what the Nashville Predators want to be in the future, but it's going to take some time because you see how quick the Vancouver Canucks change direction, transition, move to offense, how they just instinctually go about the game. So for the Nashville Predators, they're observing, they're learning, and unfortunately taking a bit of a beating right now. So going all the way here to the Christmas season, the Nashville Predators hadn't seen Vancouver since Halloween. It's proven now. Vancouver Canucks are for real. They're absolutely for real, and they're going to be a very difficult team in the Pacific Division for somebody come playoff time. As I have seen enough of the Vancouver Canucks now to absolutely know through the first half of the season, they're probably the surprise of the NHL. It's easy to say that the New York Rangers were going to be good, or that the Boston Bruins, or of course the Boston Bruins were going to be good. You'd think you get the point. But nobody was saying the Vancouver Canucks were going to be good, and the Vancouver Canucks are, in fact, very good. I've watched enough of their hockey now with my own eyes. I've covered enough of their games myself. 0-3 against the Vancouver Canucks this season. The Preds unable to get a single point, and unless something kind of strange happens, I don't think the Preds will find themselves in the best of 7 against the Vancouver Canucks. But to be honest with you, I don't know too many teams are going to want to find themselves in a best of 7. The way Demko plays in net, the way he's near the tops in the league, not even in this game against the Nashville Predators. DeSmith did a very, very excellent job. Probably won't get near enough credit since the game ends up being a blowout, but DeSmith made some really good saves first and second period to keep his team in the lead and to expand on the lead then and shut it down there at the end. But the balanced attack, the balanced offense, and if you're not paying attention to Quinn Hughes because he plays in the Pacific Northwest and the game times start late at night, you're missing out. I understand Cal McCarr has gotten all of the headlines the last couple of seasons for what is happening out there on the blue line, but Quinn Hughes is easily one of the most dynamic blue liners in the game right now, and he is just getting started. Highly impressive stuff. The speed, the passing ability, the vision. Quinn Hughes is going to continue to electrify in Vancouver and set this league on fire for a long time to come. All right, that's a lot of praise for the Vancouver Canucks. They've had a good first half of the season. They sure did beat the Nashville Predators into the ground in 3 games. So you got to give them the credit. You got to give them the stick taps. You got to give them the respect that they earn, that they deserve. Now, see you next season, Vancouver, unless something works out where we get together for a best of 7 in April, and that would be some wild stuff. I wouldn't mind that. I actually wouldn't. I think it would be a fun series to cover. That's going to do it for Operation 841. No doubt, as you know, in Middle Tennessee and across Middle Tennessee, temperatures have bottomed out the last couple of days, couple of nights. So I hope everybody is careful. Hope everybody's safe. Remember to drip your sinks. Don't forget about that stuff. Yes, it can be a big deal if your pipes freeze and they shatter in the middle of the night. night. That could be terrible. So I'm going to go inside where it's a little bit warmer than the bunker. It's been a pleasure being out here talking Preds hockey with you. I sure do love doing it. If you are traveling, remember, you can always take the show with you over the holiday break. You can find the podcast anywhere. It's a great listen when you're on the road, and we can keep you up to date with everything going on with the Nashville Preds. If you only have a few minutes, make sure you check out the Rebirth Sports full game recaps. 10 minutes will give you the entire game. Keep you caught up while you're out there on vacation. So we appreciate each and every one of you Renegades. Be safe, and we'll see you back home here in the Middle Tennessee area soon once you get back from Christmas and holiday break. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to each and every one of you out there. We will continue our coverage throughout the Christmas days. If there's a game, we will be in here, and you can count on fresh coverage on a regular basis from the Renegades of Puck. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.